Well, they are used to a certain amount of revenue, right? Revenues are driven primarily by the shows. And when you get into complicated TV deals, like the UFC is getting involved in now and has been involved in for the past several years, those networks are going to require a certain amount of shows. And the UFC has proven that they can do a certain amount of shows. So I don't think you're going to see the number of shows decrease. Although that would probably firm up the talent pool and you get uh, more anticipation and more build to your big fights. But I just don't think in the current TKO, UFC, publicly traded company situation, I don't think you're going to see it because they want to maximize profits. So the best way to maximize profits is to do as many shows as you can.
Now, let me ask you this: as someone who's, like I said, done shows and done shows at the UFC, if you were in a position that Dana, I mean, I guess the end goal for everyone is to get to a point where you're working for shareholders, although it can be a pain, you know. Is it almost like a necessary evil at that point?
Oh, I would say it's more of a double-edged sword, and be careful what you wish for, because we'll take the UFC as the example, right? You have Dana and the Fertittas running things their way, making the decisions they want to make without having to answer to anyone. Well, suddenly you're a part of a larger conglomerate, you're publicly traded, suddenly you have bosses or at least partners and at least shareholders that you have to answer to. So suddenly you have to answer to people and you have to justify your decisions, which is different for a lot of owners, a lot of people that end up taking their companies public. I would say probably as many regret it as enjoy it because you do lose a certain amount of control. And if you've spent the last X amount of years doing things the way you want and not having to explain yourself or answer to anyone, well, it's a different deal when you're in this type of situation. So, I guess it's everyone's dream to go public and make a bag of cash, but suddenly you have to answer to a board, right? Who can probably replace you if they don't like your decisions. That's the other thing, is you're not necessarily in charge.
Yeah, I wonder if Dana's contract, though, because he was the one who stayed on. I wonder if there was something in there relative to that.
I would assume so. I would hope so because he's the biggest star, the most recognizable star, the most